Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be looking at more gut feeling stories, so yeah, let's just get right into the video. I had the sweetest, chillest ball python who never nipped or hissed or reared up or anything. She'd just curl up with you and hang out. That sounds so adorable, but I'll still be scared of snakes. One day a friend brought over some of his friends and all of a sudden my snake went nuts, standing straight up in her tank and hissing at one of the guys. A couple of weeks later, that dude robbed my house while I was out of town. The snake knew. The snake was like, I'm a snake, so I know snake features. You know, like I know you're a snake because I'm a snake. Wow. Whoa. How do snakes know? That's crazy though, because I've only heard of like cats and dogs having like these kind of gut instincts about people, you know, but a snake? This is my first time hearing about a snake having a gut instinct. Wow. When I was in college, I went to a restaurant with family. This was during spring break, and we were on vacation at Smoky Mountains in TN and had just stopped to eat dinner. Shortly after we were seated, I noticed a guy sitting by the front where the waiters had a table with menus, and I had a bad gut feeling about this guy. He was facing us, and I noticed him glancing at us every now and then. A while later, I noticed a waiter bringing him a box of food, but he stayed and just sat there, expressionless, and looking at us sometimes. That is so scary. Anyway, I decided to keep an eye on him. The service was really slow, and we ended up staying for about 2 hours. 2 hours? It was odd that this guy also stayed because he got his food much earlier. Finally, we left the restaurant, and as we walked to the door, he got up and exited too. Then I noticed him getting into the car right next to ours. He was driving a large SUV or truck with tinted windows, and he started following us. I told my father who was driving, and he made several U-turns to be sure. Yep, this guy was following us. So my father turned onto a busy road, and after a few turns, we lost the guy. It was very strange and scary. I have no idea why he'd want to follow us, but my gut feeling alerted me, and maybe we got out of a bad situation. When your suspicion was right. You know, sometimes you think you're just overthinking it, like, nah, it's probably just a coincidence that he's going the same way we are, but then they did a U-turn several times, and they did the exact same thing, and that was when they were sure that dude was following them. Oh my gosh. If I was in that situation, I would freak out, because you don't know the intentions of this guy, you know? Like, why would someone follow you and wait 2 hours? That's a lot of time, okay? Why? Why this person spending so much time, huh? My mum brought her new boyfriend over the house one time for me to meet him. He weirded me out. I can't tell you why, but I didn't like him. Maybe it's because he was a 35-year-old man who wore visors. That's the reason. Friendly and funny guy who my family liked. A year into the relationship, he stole her dog. What? How dare he? Edit. He's in jail. Oh! Was hiking by myself. Real smart. I get this feeling that something wasn't right, but I normally act on that feeling. That day, however, I ignored it. Went to a lookout, turned around and headed back. About the same place as I got the feeling, I noticed a cougar tracks cross mine in the snow. They followed mine for a few meters and then went to a bit of shrub that overlooked both where I was now and the lookout. I immediately left and avoided going anywhere near something that would give a cougar cover. Occasionally behind me, I would notice a small rustle in the bushes and trees or some snow falling off a disturbed branch. That is so scary. I used to sleep with a large heavy mirror on the wall above my bed. It weighed 50 to 60 pounds. One night I had the urge to take it down, fearing it'd fall on me and shatter. As soon as I took it off the wall, the 2 mason anchors holding it crumbled and fell to the floor. Yo, that's crazy. Oh, thank gosh they took it off. Honestly, I've always wondered about mirrors above people's beds. Like, what's the point of having a mirror above your bed? Just to look at your face? I feel like anything above my bed is just a no-no for me. Like hanging things, you know? Like, I wouldn't put a painting above my bed just because I have this fear as well that it would just like randomly fall onto my face. Nah. I was clubbing and felt something was wrong. I realized one of my friends was missing. I looked in the club, then outside, and saw her barefoot in the car park with glass in her feet, being dragged off by a stranger to his car. I started screaming and making a scene for people to realize what was happening. The guy drove off, and I spent 4 hours with my friend in hospital getting a broken bottle out of her feet. Everyone needs a friend like this, okay? Oh my gosh, what the heck? Thank gosh she was thinking about her friend, because what if she just forgot something would have happened to a friend. Oh my gosh. I was with two friends of mine going on a drive to a Magic the Gathering tournament, and it was raining. The friend that was driving is habitually reckless driver, but in this case he took precautions and slowed down to a safe 60 mph on the expressway. I should say that just that morning I had a discussion with my mother about how fast and heavy a car need to be to hydroplane. So we are driving down the expressway, me sitting behind the passenger seat, when I realize I'm not wearing my seatbelt. I clip it in and make the joke. Good thing I put my seatbelt on before we and then we spun out and ended up totaling his car. Messed up my hip and back, and my bag nearly gave me a concussion when it hit me upside the head. Oh my gosh. What? Good thing I put my seatbelt. Jeez. Is this what people mean when they're like, don't jinx yourself? That's crazy. Thank gosh for the seatbelt though, because I do feel like the seatbelt probably did save their life, okay? I tell this story a lot. An old friend and I used to cut through a construction site a lot to get to the lake with skip rocks on. We did it likely for a year and a half. One day I just felt an intense urge to go the other way. I said, we should just go the long way to a day, friend. He asked why. I didn't really have a reason. I just felt uncomfortable. So long story short, and we walked up on a family of bears. Oh my gosh. I hope they got away safely, right? They were like, well, obviously, if they're telling the story, they got away. This is why you should just trust your gut feeling, okay? Don't fight with your friend about, oh, who's a scaredy cat? Just say you're the scaredy cat and leave. When my uncle married this woman that he had only recently started dating, I had a bad feeling about her from the get-go, although I tried to be supportive for him. Even her kids seemed too quiet and detached from our family. Turns out she was stealing his money and racking up huge amounts of credit card debt. Wow. Did the kids know because they were quiet about it? Wait, they recently started dating and they got married already? My daughter met a nice young man her freshman year of college. They were both super shy and he was only 17, hardly saying hi to each other. Followed my gut feelings and told him to ask her out. I told her to accept. He's about to become my son-in-law years later. They never looked at anyone else again. Oh, this is a good story. Yes, we needed a good one after all of those bad stories, honestly. How cute though, the dad. The dad is like, you two will be a good match. The dad told the dude to ask his daughter out and then he told his daughter to accept. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. My best friend started dating a guy in college and from the very instant I met him, I didn't like him. Trust your best friends, okay? If you really feel like they're your best friend, trust them. He was too smooth and didn't seem very genuine. She was head over heels for him and put a lot of effort into having us get to know each other and spend time together, and she would tell me all these great things about him. Wow, I feel like people who are just like head over heels and they're just too in love, they can't see the red flags. I begrudgingly came around and forced myself to like him for her sake. He cheated on her multiple times. She became paranoid about it and became a person I didn't really recognize, blaming the other girls instead of him, really hardcore snooping tactics. She finally broke it off with him, huge fights, lots of drama, and about a year later, she apologized to me for not taking my initial impression and words of advice not to get involved with him more seriously. Wow. So in the end, they realized. Thank gosh they realized though, because some people, they just don't realize and they can't get themselves out of it. On my way to work one morning, I had a feeling that I wouldn't be there all day. About an hour after I arrived, my boss called me into his office and laid me off due to company financial issues and said I could go home immediately if I wanted to, so I did. Oh no. That was their feeling. They got fired. I was dating a guy once and he was friends with his best friend's girlfriend. When they, his buddy and his girl, broke up, he was always answering her calls and texts in the middle of the night to help her sort through her feelings, even when I was in bed next to him. I'm not a jealous type, but this was too much. I tried to get him to turn his phone off so we could get a night's sleep, and it just never stopped. We ended pretty quickly after because he didn't really want a serious relationship right then. He started dating his buddy's ex-girlfriend, maybe 2 weeks later, and now they're married with a child. Oh wow. I guess it was just not meant to be, you know. I guess it's good that he broke up earlier with her because at least he wasn't cheating, right? You can tell when someone cares like a bit too much for someone that there's something going on. My older mother got this boyfriend. Mum was in her 60s and the boyfriend was probably mid-60s also. One day she brought him over to my house where I was a single mum to a 3-year-old boy. I'm usually friendly or at least polite, But I looked at that guy and said, no, don't come in my house. My mum was shocked. She said, this is blah blah, my boyfriend. I told her I was sorry. I shut the door. About 6 months later, he went to jail. Obviously, he went to jail doing something bad, but wow. Mum instincts, okay? Mum instincts are always the best. They're always correct. I hope, most of the times. Well, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!